So how did C.S. Lewis come up with the idea for The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe?
Well, he said it all began with a picture. It all began with a picture in his mind's eye. It had been there since he was about 16 years old, I think. A picture of a fawn in a snowy wood carrying parcels. That's where it all began. But why was that so interesting to him? That particular picture? Why was that the kernel of a story which then became The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe? Well, I think it's because in that very picture you have a clash, a symbolic clash between Saturn and Jupiter. If you look at how Lewis wrote about Saturn throughout his books, he nearly always connects Saturn with winter. And Jupiter defeats winter. Jupiter is associated with Christmas and festivity. So there you have, in that image, a fawn in a snowy wood carrying parcels and with an umbrella trying to protect himself against the winter. I think as Lewis pondered that in his mind's eye, he began to realise that there he had a symbolic clash between the winter representing Saturn and the parcels, the would-be Christmas parcels representing Jupiter. And so I think he began to, as it were, tease out the implications of that picture and thought, now how can I get Jupiter's influence working and defeating the winter and bringing in the Christmas? And it's interesting, even the fawn himself, there's an interesting character. The fawn is a half man, half goat. And a goat is, in astrological terms, associated with Saturn, the astrological goat of Capricorn. So a fawn is a half Saturnized, half Saturnian character, and needs to be released from his Saturnian bondage, if you like. You could say that may be overthinking it, but I wouldn't be surprised, because the more you explore Lewis's knowledge of planetary influence, planetary symbolism, the more you realise he was steeped in it from really early years. I've gone through many of his books, and I've looked at marginal notations and underlinings and comments that he's made in the end leaves of his books, and he really knew about the planets. Much more than people might suspect, judging by his published works. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe didn't arise from a kind of planetary interpretation of this picture of the fawn in the snowy wood carrying parcels.
And the parcels being the promise of spring.
The promise of Christmas and release from winter, yeah.